The starship Valiant drifted through the vast emptiness of space, carrying its crew of 30 humans on a diplomatic mission to the Zentari system. Commander Olivia Mason stood on the bridge watching as the blue-green planet of Zentara Prime grew. Larger in the view screen, she had been chosen to represent Earth in these important negotiations, and failure was not an option. The Zentari were an advanced race with technology far beyond what humans had achieved. Their sleek silver ships could travel between stars in days rather than months, and their weapons could destroy planets if they wished. Yet despite their power, they had reached out to Earth, offering an alliance. Lieutenant Kate Wilson approached Olivia on the bridge, her face showing concern. "We know almost nothing about these aliens," she said. "Are you sure this is wise?" Olivia turned to her friend with a slight smile. "We have no choice. Earth needs allies in this region of space, and the Zentari control most of it. Better to make friends than enemies." Kate nodded but did not seem convinced. She had served with Olivia for 5 years and trusted her judgment, but something about this mission felt wrong. The Zentari had appeared suddenly 3 months ago, offering friendship, but had shared little about themselves. Their conversation was interrupted as the communications officer called out, "Commander, we are receiving a transmission from the planet request to dock at their orbital station." Olivia straightened her uniform. "Patch it through." The screen flickered and revealed a tall humanoid figure with iridescent skin that shifted between shades of purple and blue. The alien had features almost human, except for large luminous eyes and delicate ridges that framed its face. "Commander Mason, welcome to Zentara Prime. I am Grand Counselor Vex. We await your arrival with great anticipation." "Thank you, Counselor. We look forward to establishing a lasting friendship between our peoples." The transmission ended, and Olivia turned to her crew. "All right, everyone, final preparations. Take us in. Lieutenant Wilson, select 4 security officers to accompany us to the surface." What Olivia and her crew did not know was that the Zentari royal court was filled with political games and dangerous rivalries. In the Crystal Palace on Zentara Prime, Princess Zayla of the House of Lear paced in her chambers, her skin flickering between deep violet and blue as her emotions shifted. She had just received word that she was to attend the meeting with the humans, but had not been told why. Her handmaiden Lyra watched with concern. "My lady, please calm yourself. Your colors are shifting too rapidly. It will be noticed." Zayla stopped pacing and took a deep breath, forcing her skin to settle into a calm azure. "The council summons me after ignoring my existence for months. Something is wrong, Lyra. I can feel it. Perhaps it is an honor. The humans are important guests." Zayla laughed without humor. "My father is ill. My brother is too young to rule, and I am the only obstacle to Vex taking control of the council. The Grand Counselor does nothing without purpose, especially where I am concerned." Before Lyra could respond, a chime announced a visitor. It was Dren, an old friend of Zayla's family, and one of the few council members she trusted. His expression was grave. "Princess, I come with news. The council has made a decision regarding the humans. What decision they plan to offer you as a bride to the human commander." Zayla froze, her skin turning almost white with shock. "What is presented as a gift, a symbol of alliance, but I know the truth. Vex means to remove you from the succession by binding you to an alien. They consider humans to be barely evolved, primitive creatures. The council thinks this will humiliate your house and strengthen Vex's position." Zayla felt cold anger rising within her. "So I am to be sacrificed for politics, given to creatures they think are animals?" Dren nodded sadly. "I am sorry, Princess. I have tried to speak against this, but I was outvoted. Leave me," she said. Her voice was steady, but her skin had darkened to near black, a sign of deep emotion. When she was alone, Zayla moved to her private study and activated her personal data terminal. She had been secretly studying humans for years, fascinated by their resilience and creativity. Now that knowledge would be her only advantage. The Valiant docked at the orbital station. 6 hours later, Olivia led her team through the airlock, marveling at the alien architecture. The station seemed to be made of a single piece of crystal material with no visible seams or joints. A delegation of Zentari waited for them, their silver robes shimmering in the strange blue light. "Welcome to Zentara Prime," Commander said, the lead, alien. "We will transport you to the surface for your audience with the High Council." The journey to the planet took less than 10 minutes in a transport vessel that moved with impossible smoothness. Olivia watched through the viewport as they descended, toward a vast city that gleamed like a jewel. A massive palace of crystal spires dominated the center, rising so high it seemed to touch the clouds. The delegation was escorted through soaring halls that seemed to defy gravity. Kate stayed close to Olivia, her hand never far from her sidearm despite the peaceful nature of their visit. The other security officers spread out behind them. Eyes watchful, Grand Counselor Vex greeted them in an antechamber. "Commander Mason, we are pleased by your arrival. The High Council awaits, but first I must inform you of a special honor we have decided to bestow." Olivia nodded politely. "We are grateful for any honor you wish to give to seal our new alliance. We offer you our most precious gift. Princess Zayla of the royal house will be joined with you in marriage. This will create an unbreakable bond between our peoples." Olivia struggled to maintain her composure. "Marriage. That was not part of our discussions." "Counselor, the arrangement is non-negotiable." Vex said smoothly, "The ceremony will take place tomorrow," before Olivia could respond. The doors to the council chamber opened, and the delegation was ushered inside. The throne room was massive with a ceiling so high it disappeared into shadow. The Zentari council sat in a semicircle, their faces unreadable, and at the center stood Princess Zayla, her iridescent skin a controlled shade of royal blue, her eyes meeting Olivia's with an intensity that was startling. Olivia felt a strange connection in that moment, as if some unspoken message passed between them. "Let the alliance begin," Vex announced. The meeting with the council lasted 2 hours. Olivia somehow maintained her diplomatic composure while her mind raced. How could she possibly marry an alien princess? This was far beyond her mission parameters. Yet refusing might destroy any chance of alliance with the Zentari. When the meeting concluded, the human delegation was escorted to luxurious guest quarters within the palace. Kate paced the common room while Olivia sat staring out at the alien landscape. "This is insane," Kate said. "They can't just give you a princess like she's a gift basket." Olivia rubbed her temples. "I need to contact Earth for instructions, but our communications are being blocked. The Zentari claim it's for security. I don't trust them," Kate said. "They spring this on us with no warning and expect immediate acceptance. Something else is happening here." Soft chime interrupted them. A Zentari attendant bowed at the doorway. "Princess Zayla requests a private audience with Commander Mason." Olivia exchanged glances with Kate before nodding. "Send her in." Kate moved to the corner of the room, hand resting near her weapon. "I stay with you." The princess entered alone, her movements graceful and controlled. When the door closed behind her, she stood silent for a moment, studying the humans. Then, to their surprise, she spoke in perfect English. "We must speak privately." She glanced meaningfully at Kate. Olivia hesitated, then nodded to her security officer. "Wait outside, Kate." "But Commander, it's all right. I think the princess and I need to understand each other." When they were alone, Zayla moved closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "This marriage is not an honor, Commander. It is a punishment. The Council believes that by sending me to live among humans, they disgrace my family. They think you are animals barely capable of speech." Olivia felt a flash of anger. Why would they do this? Zayla's skin rippled with emotion. "Politics. My family has ruled for generations. I am next in line to lead the council. Vex wishes to prevent this. He believes by binding me to an alien, he removes me from succession and humiliates my house." Olivia considered this carefully. So this is all about internal Zentari politics, not actually building an alliance with Earth. Both. I believe Vex truly wants the technology exchange with your people, but he also wants to remove me as a rival. This accomplishes both. And what do you want? Princess Zayla seemed surprised by the question, as if no one had asked her that before. I want what is best for my people, Commander. A true alliance with Earth could benefit both our worlds. I have studied your species in secret for years. That revelation startled Olivia. You have? Yes. I find humans fascinating. Your lives are short, yet you accomplish so much. You feel emotions so strongly. You create art and music that even my people cannot match. You are different, not lesser. They talked for hours, Zayla explaining the complex political situation and the technology the Zentari could offer. Earth. Olivia, describing her mission and the alliance Earth hoped to build. As dawn approached on the alien world, they had formed a tentative plan. I will accept this arrangement, Olivia said, but not as a puppet in your council's game. We turn this to our advantage, Zyla's. Skin brightened, a sign Olivia now recognized as approval. You understand quickly for a human. The ceremony must proceed, but what comes after is our choice. The wedding, if it could be called that, took place the next day in the great crystal hall of the palace. Olivia wore her formal uniform while Zayla was dressed in flowing robes that seemed to capture and reflect light in hypnotic patterns. The human crew watched in stunned silence as their commander was joined to the alien princess in a ceremony none of them understood. Grand Counselor Vex performed the ritual. His thin lips curved in what passed for a smile among the Zentari. When it was complete, he announced, "The alliance is sealed. Princess Zayla will depart with the humans when they leave to symbolize our eternal friendship. That was 3 days ago." Now, as the Valiant prepared to break orbit, Olivia sat in her quarters trying to process all that had happened. Kate entered with a data pad. The crew is handling this better than expected, she said. Most of them think it's exciting to have an alien princess aboard. Some are worried about what Earth Command will say. Olivia sighed. Earth Command has finally responded. They are not happy about the personal nature of this alliance, but they see the strategic value. The Zentari technology we've been promised would advance our science by decades, and the Princess Kate asked, "How are you handling that part?" Before Olivia could answer, the door chimed, and Zayla entered. She had changed, from her formal robes into a simpler outfit that mimicked a human uniform, though it shimmered slightly as she moved. "I have completed my tour of your ship," she announced. "It is primitive by Zentari standards, but impressive for your technology level. I have identified 17 improvements that could be made immediately." Kate raised an eyebrow at Olivia's smothered laugh. "I have also begun learning your command structure and protocols." Zayla continued, "I wish to be useful during our journey." Kate shook her head in amazement. "You know, most newlyweds just enjoy the honeymoon phase." Zayla tilted her head in confusion. "Honeymoon? I do not understand this term." This time, Olivia did laugh. The tension of the past days finally breaking. "I'll explain it later. For now, let's focus on getting home and figuring out how to turn this political manipulation into a real alliance. The journey to Earth would take 3 weeks at maximum speed. During that time, Zayla integrated herself into the ship's routine. She spent hours in the engine room, fascinated by human technology that she considered charmingly outdated. She learned the names of every crew member and studied Earth history and culture with intense focus. Olivia found herself drawn to the princess. Not romantically, but with growing respect and friendship. Zayla was brilliant, adaptable, and unexpectedly kind. She approached humans with genuine curiosity, rather than the condescension the council had shown. One evening, as they shared a meal in Olivia's quarters, Zayla asked, "What will happen when we reach Earth?" Olivia considered the question. "Earth Command wants to debrief you extensively. They're interested in your knowledge of Zentari technology and politics. Will probably be based at the Geneva complex while negotiations continue. And us. This marriage arrangement, it has no legal standing on Earth." Olivia explained, "You'll be considered an honored diplomatic guest, not my spouse, though Earth Command has suggested we maintain the appearance of the arrangement to keep the Zentari Council satisfied." Zayla nodded, her skin shifting to a thoughtful blue. "I have been considering what this means for my future. I cannot return to Zentara Prime. Vex would see it as a failure of his plan and might take more direct action against me." "You think he'd harm you?" She nodded. "Politics on my world can be lethal. I am safer with you among humans, as strange as that seems." For the first time, Olivia fully grasped what this arrangement had cost. The princess. You gave up everything, your home, your position, your future. Zyla's skin brightened slightly. I prefer to think I traded one future for another. Perhaps a better one. I have always been fascinated by humans. Now I can learn about you firsthand, and perhaps help build something meaningful between our worlds. Olivia raised her glass in a toast to new futures. Then Zyla mimicked the gesture, her luminescent eyes meeting Olivia's. To new futures, Commander. Earth appeared as a blue marble against the blackness of space. The Valiant approached slowly, giving Zyla time to observe the planet that would now be her home. She stood on the bridge beside Olivia, her skin shifting through shades of excitement and nervousness. "It is beautiful," she said. "So much water," Olivia smiled. "We call it the blue planet for a reason. Nearly 70% is covered by oceans." Zyla turned to her with wonder. "Oceans, I have read about them, but my world has only small seas. The concept of so much water in one place is difficult to comprehend." Their arrival on Earth created a media sensation. The first Centauri to live among humans, and a princess no less. Security was tight as they landed at the Geneva spaceport. Olivia had been promoted to admiral for her successful diplomatic mission, a fact that amused Zyla. "So your superiors reward you for accidentally acquiring an alien wife," she had teased. Olivia had blushed. "Human politics can be as strange as Centauri ones, Simiar." Debriefings lasted for weeks. Zyla shared information about her world and its technology, carefully omitting certain details that she felt humans were not ready for. Earth scientists were amazed by her knowledge, while political leaders were fascinated by her insights into Centauri society. Throughout it all, Olivia remained by her side, explaining Earth customs, translating complex human behaviors, and protecting her from those who saw her only as a source of advanced technology. 3 months after their arrival, they were finally released from constant meetings and scrutiny. Earth and Zentara Prime had established formal diplomatic relations with regular communication. Vex seemed satisfied that his plan had worked. The princess was exiled, and the alliance was proceeding. Olivia had been assigned to oversee the new Centauri technology integration project, based in a coastal research facility. She was given a small house nearby with ocean views for herself and Zyla. The first time Zyla saw the ocean, she stood motionless for nearly an hour, watching the waves, her skin shifting through colors of awe and delight. "So much movement," she whispered. "It never stops." "Never," Olivia confirmed, standing beside her. "Want to feel it?" Zyla looked uncertain. "Is it safe?" Olivia laughed and took her hand. "Come on." They walked together into the shallow water. Zyla gasped as the cool waves touched her feet, her skin flashing bright colors of surprise and joy. "It speaks," she said, feeling the pull of the tide. "It's alive, not alive, but always moving," Olivia explained. "The moon pulls the water, creating tides. It's a constant cycle." Zyla spent hours every day after that, watching the ocean, learning its rhythms. Each morning she would walk along the shore, collecting shells and studying the small creatures left by the tide. She filled notebooks with observations and questions. Their living arrangement was comfortable. They each had private rooms, but shared meals and evening conversations. Olivia would explain human customs while Zyla would describe life on her world. They developed a friendship that surprised them both, given how their relationship had begun. Kate visited often, having been assigned to the same project. She and Zyla had developed an unlikely bond based on their shared protectiveness of Olivia. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Kate asked, "So are you two actually married or what?" Zyla looked to Olivia, who shrugged. "It's complicated. The Centauri ceremony has no legal standing on Earth, but for diplomatic purposes we maintain the appearance." Kate laughed. "Only you, Olivia, would end up in an arranged marriage with an alien princess as part of a diplomatic mission." Zyla tilted her head. "It is an unusual arrangement by both our world standards, but it serves its purpose. Vex believes he has removed me from power while we build a real alliance between our peoples." "And what about when the alliance is fully established?" Kate asked. "What happens to you?" Then it was A question Zayla had considered often. I have chosen Earth as my home. Now I find your world fascinating. There is so much to learn, so much diversity. Zentara Prime is beautiful but uniform. Our society values conformity above all. This constant change, this adaptation, it appeals to me. Olivia studied her with curiosity. You never talk about what you left behind. Family, friends. Zayla's skin darkened slightly. My parents died when I was young. My brother is too young to rule. My position was one of duty, not choice. I had colleagues, not friends. Politics consumed everything. As for family, she paused. I have found more connection here in months than I had there in years. The conversation shifted to work, but that night, as Olivia prepared for bed, she found Zayla waiting in the common room, her skin a soft shade of contemplation. May we speak? She asked. Of course. What's on your mind? I have been offered a position at the research facility. Zayla said. A role studying ocean ecosystems. They value my perspective, as someone seeing Earth's life forms for the first time. Olivia smiled brightly. That's wonderful. You love the ocean. It seems perfect, yes. Zayla agreed, but I wanted to discuss what this means for our arrangement. If I take this position, I would be establishing my own identity here, not just as your diplomatic accessory. Olivia sat beside her. You were never that, Zayla. Not to me. At first, yes. Our arrangement was political, but now you're my friend. I want you to build whatever life makes you happy. Here Zayla's skin brightened with relief, and our living arrangement, stay as long as you like. This house is too big for just me anyway, and I enjoy your company. Zayla accepted the position and threw herself into her work with characteristic intensity. She learned to swim, a skill no Zentari had ever needed, and spent hours in the water studying Earth's marine life. Her perspectives led to several breakthroughs in understanding deep ocean ecosystems. Olivia watched her transformation with pride. The reserved princess was becoming more confident, more independent. She had begun wearing human clothing, adapting it slightly to accommodate her physiological differences. She had even started experimenting with human foods, though her biology required supplements. They settled into a comfortable routine work during the day, shared meals and conversations in the evening. Some nights they would walk on the beach under the stars, Zayla pointing out the direction of her homeworld, now invisible to the naked eye. As months passed, Zayla became a familiar figure in the small coastal town. People grew accustomed to her shifting skin colors, learning to read her emotions through the hues. She made human friends, joined community activities, and gradually built a life that was uniquely her own. 1 year after their arrival on Earth, a message came from Zentara Prime. Grand Counselor Vex was planning a visit to inspect the progress of the Alliance. It would be the first time Zayla had seen any of her people since leaving her world. The news disturbed her more than she expected. Olivia found her sitting on the beach late that night, her skin dark with emotion. Are you all right? She asked, sitting beside her in the sand. Zayla didn't look up. I thought I had left that life behind, but it seems it has not left me. Vex cannot touch you here, Olivia reminded her. You're under Earth protection. It is not fear that troubles me. Zayla said, it's the realization that I do not wish to return to being what I was. I have changed. Olivia, in ways I never expected, I feel more alive here, more myself than I ever did as a princess. Olivia took her hand. Then that's what we tell him. You have made your choice. Spring arrived, bringing new life to the coastal landscape. Zayla watched in fascination as plants bloomed and migratory birds returned. Her research had expanded to include seasonal changes in marine ecosystems, and she spent most days in the field. Collecting data, Olivia had been promoted, again becoming the head of the Interspecies Relations Department, a position created specifically to manage the growing alliance with the Zentari Six. More of their kind had come to Earth as diplomats and technical advisors, though none were of royal blood like Zayla. Their home had become a gathering place for both humans and Zentari visitors. Kate, now a captain, remained a frequent guest, often bringing along her new partner, Amber, a marine biologist, who worked with Zayla one evening after their guests had left. Zayla sat quietly on the porch, her skin shifting through thoughtful patterns of blue and violet. Olivia brought her a cup of the herbal tea she had grown fond of and sat beside her. "You seem pensive tonight," Olivia observed. "Is everything all right?" Zayla took the cup, her luminescent eyes focusing on the horizon. "I have been thinking about the future. Our future," Olivia said, surprised by the seriousness in Zayla's voice. "What about it? We have lived in this arrangement for nearly 2 years now. It has served its purpose. The alliance between our worlds is strong. Vex's visit last month confirmed that he no longer sees me as a threat to his power. He believes I have been thoroughly humanized, a fate worse than death in his view." Olivia frowned. "I never realized he still thought of it as a punishment for you." Zayla's skin rippled with amusement. "It works in our favor. Let him think me diminished while I build a life of my own choosing. But it does raise the question of what comes next for us. This marriage of convenience has outlived its diplomatic necessity." Olivia felt a sudden unease. "Are you saying you want to end our arrangement?" "Not exactly." Zayla set down her cup and turned to face Olivia fully. "I have been consulting with human scientists about something of great importance to me. I wish to have a child." Olivia nearly dropped her own cup. "You mean, I want to create a new life, one that carries both our genetic heritage, a true bridge between our worlds." "But that's," Olivia searched for words, "is that even possible?" Zayla nodded. "Your geneticists believe it is. Centauri reproductive biology is not so different from yours at the cellular level. It would require genetic modification, but the technology exists. My body could carry a child that would be partly human, partly Centauri." Olivia was stunned. "Why?" The question seemed to surprise Zayla. "For many reasons, some practical, some personal. Our worlds are now linked through politics and technology. But what better way to ensure lasting peace than through a new generation that belongs to both? I would be creating something unprecedented, something remarkable. But beyond politics, why do you want this personally?" Zayla's skin shifted to a soft pink, a color Olivia had rarely seen. "I have found purpose here, Olivia. Found belonging. I wish to put down roots to create family I never had on my world." And she hesitated. "I would like that family to include you if you are willing." The request caught Olivia completely off guard. In their 2 years together, she had come to care deeply for Zayla, but had never considered the possibility of parenthood, especially not with an alien princess. The idea was overwhelming, terrifying, and yet somehow not unwelcome. "I need time to think about this," she said finally. "It's a huge decision." "Of course," Zayla said, her skin cooling to a patient blue. "I do not expect an immediate answer. I only ask that you consider it." For weeks, Olivia contemplated Zayla's proposal. She consulted doctors, scientists, and counselors. She spoke with Kate, who after initial shock became supportive. If anyone could raise an interspecies child, it's you two, Kate said. You already bridge 2 worlds every day. The more Olivia thought about it, the more the idea took hold in her heart. She had never planned on having children. Her career had always come first. But now with Zayla, the possibility seemed right somehow, part of a larger purpose. One morning, as they walked along the beach, at sunrise, Olivia took Zayla's hand and simply said, "Yes." Zayla's skin erupted in brilliant colors of joy, illuminating the early morning mist. "You are certain?" "I'm terrified," Olivia admitted. "But yes, I'm certain. This feels right, not just for our worlds, but for us." The process took months of preparation. Teams of human and Centauri scientists worked together, combining genetic material from both women, modifying it to create a viable embryo. Zayla underwent treatments to prepare her body for carrying a partially human child. Throughout the process, their relationship deepened. What had begun as a political arrangement had evolved into a partnership built on mutual respect and genuine affection. They were not human lovers, but they had formed a bond that transcended conventional definitions. 9 months later, Maya was born. Her skin was a soft olive tone that occasionally rippled with subtle color when she was emotional. Her eyes changed colors like opals, shifting with her moods. She had 5 fingers like a human but with the slight iridescence of Zentari skin. Her cries were musical, her laughter like chimes. The birth made headlines across Earth and Zentara Prime. The first hybrid child, a symbol of the alliance that had grown far beyond what either world had imagined when it began. The political significance was enormous. But to Olivia and Zayla, she was simply their daughter. Precious and perfect, Kate and Amber became honorary aunts, visiting often and bringing gifts. Olivia's parents overcame their initial shock and fell in love with their unusual granddaughter. Even some of Zayla's former colleagues from Zentara Prime sent traditional birth gifts. Life settled into a new rhythm centered around Maya. She grew quickly, showing traits from both species. She was walking at 6 months, speaking simple words in both English and Zentari by 8 months. Her intelligence was extraordinary, her curiosity boundless. Olivia took family leave to be home with Zayla and Maya. For the first year, they converted the small home office into a nursery painted with stars and ocean waves. Kate teased them about becoming domestic, but the truth was they had found contentment neither had expected one night as Maya slept peacefully. In her crib, Olivia and Zayla sat on the porch as had become their custom. Zayla's skin glowed softly in the darkness, providing just enough light to see by. "Did you ever imagine this?" Olivia asked, gesturing to their home. "When they first gave you to me as a political prank, never," Zayla admitted. Her skin shifted to a warm gold, a color Olivia had come to recognize as happiness. "I expected exile, humiliation, perhaps even death. Eventually. But this," she looked toward the window where Maya slept. "This is beyond anything I could have dreamed. They have no idea what they created when they tried to punish you," Olivia said with a smile. "The greatest gift of my life," Zayla replied, "though they never intended it to be." As Maya grew, so did her significance. 2 years after her birth, a formal delegation from Zentara Prime requested a visit. Grand Counselor Vex himself would be coming to see the child who had become a symbol of the alliance. Before his arrival, Olivia found Zayla preparing Maya's special occasion clothes, her skin shifting with nervous energy. "Are you worried about seeing him again?" Olivia asked. Zayla shook her head. "No longer. He has no power over me now. I have something he never expected." "What's that? A genuine life," Zayla said, stroking Maya's hair as the child played with colored blocks. "A family of my own choosing, not one dictated by politics or tradition. And Maya, she represents everything the council feared. A true bond between our species, one that cannot be broken." Maya looked up at the sound of her name and smiled, her skin rippling with colors of delight. She reached up with small hands, one to each of her mothers, and in that moment, Olivia understood completely what Zayla meant. What had begun as a political punishment had transformed into something revolutionary. The prank had backfired spectacularly, and the future would never be the same. The day of the Zentari delegation's arrival dawned clear and bright. Olivia, now an admiral, stood in her formal uniform beside Zayla, who wore a blend of human and Zentari ceremonial clothing. 3-year-old Maya between them, dressed in a special outfit that honored both her heritages. The child had grown rapidly, showing abilities from both species. Her skin could shift colors, though less dramatically than a full Zentari, and she possessed both human emotional expressiveness and Zentari intuitive abilities. She spoke 3 languages fluently: English, Zentari, and the international diplomatic language that had developed between the worlds. The delegation landed at the Geneva spaceport in a sleek Zentari vessel. 8 dignitaries emerged, led by Grand Counselor Vex. His thin face showed no emotion as he approached, but Zayla could read the subtle shifts in his skin coloration, revealing his shock at seeing her so changed. "And the child holding her hand, Admiral Mason," he said, formally inclining his head. "We meet again, Counselor Vex. Welcome back to Earth," Olivia replied. "The alliance continues to flourish." Vex's gaze shifted to Zayla. Princess, your appearance has become quite humanized. Sayla met his eyes steadily. I have adapted to my home counselor. As any Zentari would, she placed a gentle hand on Maya's shoulder. And this is our daughter. Maya Vex could not hide his reaction this time, his skin flashing dark purple with shock before he controlled it. What have you done? He asked, his voice barely, above a whisper, have chosen my path. Zayla replied calmly, and created a bridge that can never be broken. Maya looked up at the Zentari counselor, her eyes shifting through colors of curiosity. Hello, she said in perfect Zentari, including the subtle skin flushes that accompanied formal greetings. Are you from my mother's world? The other delegates murmured in amazement at hearing such perfect speech from a child. Especially a hybrid Vex seemed frozen, unable to respond. Maya continued, unbothered. By his silence, I would like to visit there someday. Mother has told me about the crystal cities and the floating gardens. She shifted to English. Would you like to see my seashell collection? I found them all myself at the beach. Olivia gently touched Maya's shoulder. Later, sweetheart. Right now, the counselor has official business. The delegation was escorted to the diplomatic complex for formal meetings. But the damage to Vex's composure had been done. He had intended to exile and humiliate Zayla. Instead, she had thrived, creating something unprecedented. A child of two worlds who represented everything. The conservative elements of Zentari society feared a future of integration rather than isolation. During the state dinner that evening, Maya charmed the entire delegation. Her precocious intelligence combined with childlike enthusiasm broke through even the most reserved Zentari diplomats' defenses. When she demonstrated her ability to change her skin colors in patterns mimicking traditional Zentari art forms, several delegates openly expressed amazement. After Maya had been taken home by Kate for bedtime, Vex requested a private meeting with Olivia and Zayla. They met in a small conference room, the tension palpable. You have created an abomination, Vex said finally. His voice was controlled, but his skin betrayed his agitation. Zayla's own skin darkened with anger. We have created hope. Counselor. A child who belongs to both worlds, who will grow up understanding both cultures. Is that not the point of an alliance? You were meant to be removed from influence, Princess. Not to spawn a new genetic line that muddies our pure heritage. Olivia stepped forward, her diplomatic restraint slipping. Your plan backfired, Counselor. Deal with it. Maya exists, the alliance exists, and Zayla is not your political pawn anymore. She's respected scientist here on Earth and my partners. Vex spat the word. The Council will never recognize this genetic experiment as legitimate. Then the Council will find itself increasingly irrelevant, Zayla said calmly. There are already 6 more human Zentari couples requesting genetic assistance to have children of their own. Our scientists are cooperating on breakthrough technologies. Our artists are creating new forms together. The future is coming, Vex, whether you approve or not. The counselor's skin paled. What are you saying? Zayla moved closer to him, her royal bearing fully evident, despite her years away from court. I am saying that your attempt to punish me has instead created something revolutionary. The alliance you thought would be merely technical and limited has become cultural and personal. Maya is only the first of a new generation that will bridge our worlds, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. Vex left Earth the next day, cutting his visit short. The remaining delegates stayed, completing all planned negotiations, and several even requesting private meetings with Zayla and Maya. Word spread quickly through both worlds. The story of the princess, given as a political prank who had instead chosen to embrace her new life and create a child, became a symbol of hope and possibility. Maya's pictures appeared everywhere, her innocent face representing a future of cooperation, rather than isolation. 6 months after the delegation's visit, Olivia received a secure transmission from Zentara Prime. Vex had been removed as Grand Counselor, replaced by a moderate who supported closer ties with Earth. The political winds had shifted dramatically, partly due to the public reaction to Maya. Zayla received the news with quiet satisfaction. She had never sought revenge against Vex, merely the freedom to choose her own path. But there was poetic justice in knowing that his attempt to remove her from power had ultimately led to his own downfall. As Maya's 4th birthday approached, they planned a celebration inviting friends from both worlds. The child had become the center of a growing community of humans and Zentari, who believed in the possibility of true integration. The night before the party, Olivia found Zayla on their porch watching the stars, her skin glowing with soft contentment. Maya was asleep inside, dreaming whatever unique dreams came to a child of. 2 worlds, do you ever regret it? Olivia asked, sitting beside her. Any of it. Zayla turned to her with surprise. What would I regret? Being given to me as a political pawn. Leaving your world, building this life. Zayla's skin rippled with amusement. They meant it as a punishment, Olivia. But it became the greatest gift I could have received. Freedom to choose my own path, a chance to build something new. And Maya. She looked toward the house, her luminescent eyes soft with love. She is miracle I never thought possible. Olivia took her hand, their fingers intertwining in what had become a familiar gesture. Quite a journey from political arrangement to this, Zayla nodded. The council never understood humans. They saw your physical similarities to us, but considered you primitive, emotionally undeveloped. They could not comprehend your capacity for adaptation, for acceptance, for love. They still don't fully understand it. And you? Olivia asked. Do you understand it now? Zayla's skin glowed warmer. I am. Still learning. But I think perhaps I understand better than most Zentari. Maya is teaching me every day. She paused, looking out at the ocean that had become so central to their lives. I once thought being sent here was end of my story. Now I know. It was just the beginning. The next day, their home filled with guests. Human children played alongside young Zentari visitors. Maya at the center of the group, teaching them games she had invented that combined traditions from both worlds. Adults from both species discussed art, science, politics, and family life. Kate and Amber brought their newly adopted daughter, who followed Maya everywhere with wide-eyed admiration. Several Zentari scientists who had helped with Maya's conception arrived with gifts and news of more hybrid pregnancies underway. As Olivia watched the gathering, she felt a sense of pride that went beyond her accomplishments as a diplomat. What had begun as an awkward political arrangement had blossomed into something extraordinary, a genuine bridge between worlds. Zayla joined her, carrying Maya, who was laughing at something her Zentari friend had said. The child reached for Olivia, who took her easily. Look at all my friends, Mama, Maya said, her skin flickering with happiness. Zentari and human together. That's right, little one, Olivia said, kissing her forehead. Together is better than apart, Maya nodded with the serious wisdom sometimes displayed by hybrid children. I think I will help more people be together when I grow up like you and Mother did. Zayla and Olivia exchanged glances over their daughter's head, both thinking the same thing, that a political prank had somehow, through love and courage, transformed into the greatest hope for both their worlds, and Maya would carry that hope forward into a future neither of them could have imagined when they first met in that crystal palace so far away. The joke had been on those who thought humans were lesser, who believed that giving a princess to one would be a punishment. Instead, it had created a revolution, not of weapons or politics, but of hearts and minds. A quiet revolution that would reshape 2 worlds, one family at a time, and it had all begun with a prank.